Okay, I guess I hit the wrong button. I'm making ham croquettes and I'm sauteing the onions and peppers and um, pretty soon I'm going to add the garlic. I'm waiting for the peppers and onions to get translucent and soft before I add my garlic. And this is the first time I'm making ham croquettes. I have my mom's recipe that I'm going by, but I've also watched some YouTube videos to kind of get a concept of how to make this since it is my first time. So I remember my mom making it all the time. I just don't feel confident enough. All right, well, I'm going to put this on pause so I can continue cooking those, my sofrito. Oh, also, I chopped up my ham, and this is just a regular Kentucky smoked ham. It's not a sweet ham, although I like my croquettes to be sweet. So you can add brown sugar to your seasoning, and that'll give it a little hint of sweetness. I put this in a blender and I grinded it up a little bit. I mean, you don't want it like soupy or anything like that, but you want it like to masa. You're gonna cook all this stuff with the brown sugar and the seasonings and milk and flour. I'll be right back. Okay, I just added 3 teaspoons of garlic to it. I like everything. I like everything with garlic. So, I mean, you don't have to add garlic if you don't want to, if you don't like garlic. I used to not like garlic. The reason was because a lot of people will cut their garlic with that little green stem inside of it, and they don't remove that yellowy green stem inside. And that's why I hated garlic when my mom used to put a lot of garlic in the stuff because I would always taste that and I didn't know any better. So I watched a video one time of somebody cooking and they took that little stem part out of there. And once I started doing that, I'm like, ooh, the more garlic, the better. So I really like garlic a lot now, more than I did before for that reason, because it had that little stem, gives it a really strong flavor that I don't like. So that's the secret. Take that little stem out. I know it's hideous, but it takes tedious. I mean, it takes a little time to get them all out, but trust me, you will like garlic better if you did that. Be right back. Okay, while that garlic is cooking down a little bit, I wanted to show you. Um, I use Italian breadcrumbs. It has a little bit, although this batch right here, I think I mixed it with the regular. Um, I mixed in some regular breadcrumbs in there, but this is mostly Italian breadcrumbs. I like it because it adds a little flavor on the outside to the croquettes. This is some really good stuff, but you can use just plain old breadcrumbs. That's fine too. It's just that this is seasoned on the outside and it's so good. I think it has some salt. Yeah, it has 390 um, milligrams of salt, micrograms, sorry, of salt. So, but this is what I'm going to use, and a couple of eggs. Oh, it smells so good. I haven't even put the seasonings in here yet. That garlic, ooh, yum. Oh, and I did put a little bit of Monsanto pepper, just like a half a teaspoon, maybe an eighth of a teaspoon, because that's, I mean, it's not real spicy. It's not like a Scotch bonnet. The Scotch bonnet is close to a habanero pepper. So the Monsanto pepper is a little bit less than that. But I also put a couple of Thai chilies in here, like maybe 4 little tiny little round pieces to add a little kick to it. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little bit of my parsley and cilantro in here. And you want to wash your cilantro and your parsley when you get it from the store really good, because if you don't, it's going to have like little bits and pieces of sand in it, and you're going to have a crunchy cilantro, and I don't think that you'll like that. So what I do is I put it in a bowl and kind of mix it really well, you know, with full water, and then get a strainer and then put the stuff on the strainer, and then dump the water, sandy water, and rinse it out, and then do it again a few times, and just to make sure to get all that sand out of there. The more color you put into these croquettes, the more beautiful it's going to be when you bite into it. It's going to be really pretty. I've seen some people when they make croquettes and it's like they bite into it and then they show it to you on YouTube and you're like, that has no color to it. I'm not used to having it like that. Okay, so I'm going to add my seasonings in here. And you can add as much or as little seasonings you want. I mean, it's up to you. You can also taste it. That is really good. Yummy. You don't have to add all of it. You can add more later on if you feel like it needs more. I just like to mix as much as I can just in case I need it. That looks so pretty already. I don't know if y'all can see that. I've seen two ways of doing it. People will put the ham in here now, and then they'll add the flour and the milk later. And then you have some people who will add the flour and the milk before they add their ham, so they can cook their flour really good before they add their ham. So either way is fine, however you decide to do it. I think it's easier if you just add your milk and your flour in here, because it'll be easier to cook it before you incorporate it with your ham. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I got here a half a cup of milk. Put that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle in my flour. So you're going to keep on stirring this and stirring it and stirring it. Don't let it not, just stay still on there. Just put a little bit at a time. And that's like, that was a half a cup. No, it was a cup of flour that I put in here, but you probably will only need a cup. But you just look at it, see what it looks like while it's cooking. If you need more, you add more. You just want to keep stirring it, and you want it on medium heat, because you want to cook that flour. It's going to come together like that. That's what you want. See? It's like a masa. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add my ham in here. I think I'm going to add a little bit more milk in here. I know the recipe's for half a cup, but I think my mom made less ham than this. This is almost 2 pounds of ham. So I think I'm going to do half a cup of milk because it's more than 1 pound. And I'll put the rest of that flour in there. It doesn't matter if you cook it first or you last, it don't really matter. As long as you cook that flour, that'll be fine. Sticking to the spoon really well. You know, you can make this too ahead of time, and you can freeze the masa or even the croquettes already formed, and then you could put them in the freezer, and whenever you're ready, just take them down and thaw them and cook them down. Fry them. I think I'll throw the rest of this in here. Why not? You know, I think sometimes when I conquer something and I make it, I just am happy with it and then I don't do it again. Like the papa rellenos, I did it that one time. Oh my gosh, they were so delicious. And then I never made them again. I just had to prove to myself that I can make them. And you know, since all this stuff is cooked, so you can try your masa, and if you think it needs more salt or seasoning or whatever, you know, you can add it to it while you're doing this. So everything's pretty much cooked. You want to keep doing this till you get like one big ball, just keeps flipping it. I remember when I was a kid and my mom would make the masa, and then I would sit at the dining room table and I would form the little cigar-shaped croquettes for her, and then she would then bread it. It's always better to just go ahead and form your croquettes first and not do one at a time, because that way you'll have a nice dry hands to first do your croquettes, and then you want to coat them with the breading. You know, your hands are going to get all breaded and everything, and it's hard to switch back and forth doing that. So it's better just do one part first and then do the other. Okay, so this is going to need a little bit more flour because it's not going to come together like I want it to. I'm thinking it's almost there. Maybe I should just keep on until I get it. almost coming out of the pot. When you see it rolling like that right off the pan, that's what you want. Well, maybe I'll just keep doing it. I tell you, it's a workout. Because you don't want it real sticky. You want it more on the breadier and the floury side. But I've seen people that on Facebook, not on Facebook, on YouTube, they keep adding flour till it forms that ball that they want. My fingers are getting tired. Okay, I'll get some more flour. You really want to have extra flour hanging out so that you don't have to stop, because you don't want to stop from stirring, you know? You want to keep stirring. So I'm going to put just a little bit. Oh, some people put a little bit of vino seco in it too, but I didn't put any. You know, us Cubans, we put wine into everything. We cook with wine all the time and olive oil. Those are two main ingredients we cook everything with. I saw this one guy make croquettes, and he used, after he did this part, he put it into, he has a KitchenAid, and it has one of those meat grinders that go in it, and he put it into the meat grinder, and as it was coming out of the meat grinder, he would cut into these perfect shaped croquettes, all one size. I was like, oh, what a great idea. Of course, for someone who wants to cook croquettes all the time, I think that will be me. I need some muscle. I need a hubby. My hubby needs to be doing this, not me. Hopefully that'll be it. My hubby's on the couch, and he's sleeping. He's snoring. Anytime he hits that couch, it's sleepy time. He worked hard today, though. He went to the gym this morning. He cooked me breakfast. And he also did scrape a lot of that ice and snow that was on our driveway and our sidewalk. So he had his workout for sure. That is not easy work. Maybe I just need to turn the heat up just a little tiny bit. I think my mom would be proud. Especially when I made those papa rellenas. I know she was proud of me making those. This is probably a good time to try it. Mmm. Oh, wow. That's good. Except I would add a little bit more sugar in here for sure. Some brown sugar, not just any sugar. I think I need more flour. And I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar because I know Bruce likes it. Sweet. I already added some brown sugar to it, but obviously it's not enough. I'm going to eyeball it. Okay. Of course, it's better to add the brown sugar while you have your sofrito going on. Blend a lot better, but oh well, maybe I'll have some sweet ones and some regular ones. Learn as you go. Oh yeah, it's starting to come away from the pot right here. That's what you want. When it starts peeling away, just rolling right off that pan of yours, you're getting closer to it. I know my husband earlier asked me, "Are you done yet?" I'm like, "I'm just starting." I was cutting up some more peppers and trying to get everything ready. Turn it down to 2. You want to keep stirring because you don't want your batter to burn. Yeah, I think this is good. It's just easily rolling right off the pan, so stop now. It looks good. It looks like it's gonna come together really well. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in a regular plate. I'm gonna use the same plate I had my ham in, so it's clean. And I'm just gonna pop this over here. All right. Can you see that? Okay, so I flatten it out like this. I'm probably going to put it in the refrigerator for just a little bit, just for it to get cool enough for me to make the croquettes. And I'll be back in a sec. Okay, you're gonna scramble 2 eggs. This is where you're gonna dip your already formed croquetas before you put it in the breadcrumbs. So my batter is still cooling off, but I'm getting everything ready. Be right back. Okay, my batter has already cooled, so I'm gonna start making the croquettes. I'm gonna form them first. You just take a little bit and then you make into a little ball like that, and then you make them as big as you want or as little as you want, however you want to make it. I don't like them too big. So yeah. You can see all the peppers in there. It's so pretty. So just try to grab, if you want to do the same size, you can get like an ice cream scooper. You can get a tablespoon if you want, if that's gonna help you. I just kind of grab a little bit like that. And it's basically pretty much the same size as the other one, like maybe a tablespoon. And I roll it like this. Tap it at the ends. And if you can see that. Can you see that? Okay. Yep. So just make them all the same size. Or if you want them bigger, then just make it, 2 tablespoons. Heck, if you want to make them into patties, you could do that too. Whatever you want. It's easier to make them all the same size if you can, so that they all cook around the same time. And of course, like with frying, you don't want to crowd your pan. I've seen where this lady on one of the YouTube channels that I watch, she didn't even put any breadcrumbs on it. She just fried it just the way it is. I'm like, hey, the taste is still the same without the breadcrumbs. So whatever floats your boat. Yep, yep. That one looks It's a little bit bigger. Let me take a little bit off. Okay, well, I'm going to do all this. You can also add a little bit of oil to your hands so they don't stick on your hands. But mine are not really sticking that much to my hands, so I'm okay. A little bit's okay. But you can add oil to your hands. I think that's what they normally do, but I'm not going to do that. So I'll do these and I'll be right back to show you how to batter them. Okay, now that I finished forming my croquettes, I'm going to start to put them in the egg and then into the breadcrumbs. And that is what they look like right there. They look funny right now. But let me show you how I do this. Let's get a fork. Let it drip a little bit. And I put another plate with a little bit of breadcrumbs there so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the plate. My hands are clean. Just going to use one hand to do this with. So I had a nice dry hand to pick up my fork. That was a big one. That was the last one I did and I didn't feel like making it smaller. That's for Bruce. So I'm going to do this for every single one of them and I'll be right back. That little piece won't come out. Oh, there we go.